Hey, good people, how you doing? David Taub here, co-creator of NextLevelGuitar.com. Hope all's going well, and I hope your guitar journeys are going famously. And you know, we do lessons for all level players here at Next Level Guitar, and today we have something for the beginners where I designed a exercise to really help beginners with their chord changing techniques and their rhythm and their progressions. And in this exercise, I designed it to really hit on several important principles of chord changing that you're going to be practicing throughout. Now, this is a tough exercise and it might take you, a month, 2 months to get the whole thing down, but that's good because that's what you have to do on guitar. You have to keep challenging yourself and keep pushing yourself. And I keep pushing my students to the next level. And that's what's going to move you along faster in your guitar journeys. Take on more challenging chord changes, more challenging strumming patterns, more challenging songs, and that will keep propelling you to your guitar goals, right? So actually, first we'll do a little review of good chord changing techniques. And if you want to learn more about this, I have a really killer series of 5 beginner lessons. I'll send them to you for free. Just click on that link in the YouTube description box. There's a link in there. Click on that link, write in your email. I'll send you 5 free video lessons and an ebook. And right around lesson 3 is where we really get into the chord changing. So if the first 2 lessons are a little too rudimentary for you, just watch maybe 3, 4, and 5. Or if you want to review, you could watch the early ones, but I'll send you 5 free ones and an ebook that has the chords diagrammed out, lots of lessons, more exercises, and you could download that as a PDF. Click on that link below. Real quick, there's a few things that you could do to make your chord changing so much easier and more fluid so you're not fighting it so much, right? These are principles that we're going to be employing in this exercise. But real quick, a couple things. Remember, I use the principles that I've named shared fingers, meaning if a chord shares common notes, we're going to leave that finger down on the guitar, and I'll demonstrate this. So you want to be sure you're not taking your hand off the guitar neck just to put them back in the exact same position, or one finger in that position. You want to leave it down. You want to leave your hand in this what I call cluster. Leave it in a tight cluster. Your hand should never be coming off the fretboard, and your fingers should never be coming apart. You have to train your fingers to do this, and it just takes a little time, right? But your hand should stay in this tight cluster close to the fretboard. Pretend like like the strings are magnetic and your tips of your fingers are magnetic and it's pulling you to the fretboard. You don't want to get a credit card in between your fingers, tips of your fingers and the strings. And you're up on your fingertips, not flat. Up on the fingertips, the wrist is down, the fingers are cupped, okay? And you really want to stay in this cluster. Do not come apart. Don't take your fingers apart. And the pinky should be hitching a ride on that 3rd finger, not out here flailing in the wind, right? Hitching a ride no matter what chord you're on or you're using it, but in this tight cluster. All right, so now let's take a look at all the chords that we're going to be using in this exercise, and there's a lot of them. And I call these exercises long progressions, where we're going to take a long series of chords and work through the changes. And if you could master this, you could be playing songs in no time, because, most popular songs, what do you have, 3, 4, 5 chords? Here we're going to use, 10, 15 chords. You'll rarely see this many chords in a basic pop or rock song. But I do this because it really trains you. It really gets this muscle, helps the muscle memory. And if you could perform this exercise all the way through with 15 chords, imagine when you open up a 3 or 4 chord song, you'll be able to play it like butter, right? We're going to use a stock E minor chord. And I want you to use your 1st and 2nd finger for the chord. And it's important you use these fingerings because it's all tied into the whole exercise. From there, we're going to go to a C major 7th chord. And I want you to use your 2nd and 3rd fingers for that chord. And I'll show you all these up tight when we get into the actual changing. Then we're going to use an A minor 9. And with the A minor 9, you're using your 1st and 2nd finger, you're muting the low E string. And you're muting the low E string on the C major 7 also. 1st and 2nd on that A minor 9. Then we're going to go to a D minor chord. Try to mute that low E string with your thumb. Just get your thumb over the neck just enough just to touch it. Doesn't take a lot. You don't have to come way over and pull your arm up. Just touch it. If you can mute the A string also on this D minor chord, great. If not, no worries. But you definitely want to just take it from that open D string. D minor. Then we're going to go to an F major 7 chord. And again, you're going to mute the low E string and A string if possible. That's a good chord to play as a substitution for an F major until you're ready to play like a bar chord or an F major chord. You can play this F major 7. Then you're going to go to a stock C, open position C, then to a G chord, and I want you to play the G chord like this using your pinky, your third and your second finger. Check out that picture. This is important for the exercise sake. It's important to learn different fingerings for each chord and different voicings, because some of those voicings will lead you to the next chord easier than the other one, as well as it will work the muscles and the dexterity in the fingers if you're not usually using that. A lot of students have trouble playing this voicing of a G, but give it a try. It'll make it easier going to the C, which would be the next chord in the progression. Then there's an A minor chord. There's a little F triad, and I throw an F triad into this exercise. A triad is just a 3-note chord. And I throw it in there because I want to get you out of just this first position and trying to move around the neck a little bit. That's why I throw in like an A minor 9 to get you over here at the 5th fret. And this F triad, which has its root on that F at the 6th fret. Okay? Get that chord down. And then good old C add 9, G, G major. And this time use the 4-finger G and C. Okay, those are all the chords that we're going to use in this exercise. We're going to string them together in this long progression, which I will also write out for you. But before we do that, let's go in on a tight chop because I want to show you how you're going to move these chords around, the fingerings you're going to use, and the techniques you're going to employ while you're practicing that. So the first change is E minor to C major 7th. And how I want you to execute this is with shared fingers. You see, both chords share this E note. So all you're going to do is you're going to play your E minor. Then when you go to the next chord, you're going to add your 3rd finger to the A string 3rd fret, leave this 2nd finger down, and you have your C major 7th. So you're not going to take your whole hand apart just to put it back together or take your fingers off the strings when you don't have to. That's our shared fingers. So it's like a pivot, right? Notice the pinky is tight to the 3rd finger, and on the C major 7th, my thumb is just slightly over the neck, muting that low E string. Then, keeping your hand in this tight cluster, you're going to come to the next change, which is our A minor 9. And what you have to do is, you have to drop, so you're going to be in this position. So just bring that 1st finger in, and then drop the 1st and 2nd together down 1 string each. And you get to your A minor 9, okay? It's subtle, but again, I'm not taking my hand apart just to put it all back together. It's everything is close to the fingers at all times as I slide across the strings. So here's the first 3 changes. E minor to C major 7 to A minor 9. Now, we're here, like at the 5th fret, we got to get down to D minor, but they share this note, the D minor chord. So it shares that A note. So what we do is we slide down to D minor in that position, in that open position. But what we do is we don't take it off the fretboard. We don't take our hand off. So watch. Watch as I slide that shared finger down to D minor. Back to A minor 9. Just practice those 2. You see how I use that like a guide, and that pulls your hand right to that D minor chord. Now, when you go to the F major 7, again, the 2nd finger, it has an A in it. It has that shared note. So you're just going to pull up 2 strings up with the 3rd finger and 1 string up with the 1st finger. F major 7. Thumb mutes the low E string. So, again, that change. Leave that 2nd finger down. Very subtle movement. So you're on this F major 7. We're going to go to a C chord that shares this C note. So you're just going to move those 2nd and 3rd finger up 1 string each. Here's your F major 7 to your C major, right? So here's those changes from the from the A minor 9. Slide, shared finger to D minor. Then you're going to share that 2nd finger to F major 7. Share that 1st finger to C. Then when you go to the G chord, this is why I want to use your pinky, because your pinky's kind of right here. This finger just would have to come up 1 string, this finger up 1 string, put your pinky on that high E string, and there's your G chord. So it's C to G. you have trouble with that change, just practice it back and forth. C to G, and then you go back to C. Good practice. Then the A minor, it shares both these fingers. So all you have to do for the A minor going from C to A minor is move this third finger right under the second finger on the G string. And you got your A minor. See how easy that is? You might have to shimmy the first two fingers down a hair. A minor. Then to the F triad, I want to get you moving along the fretboard. Now the F triad, which is here, this kind of, the major triad shape looks like a D chord, right? You've played this D chord probably before. Here's our root note, there's our D. So you just move this is a movable triad shape. You just move this down to the root note F, which would be here at the 6th fret. Play the same shape. That's our F triad, right? So what you want to do coming off this A minor is kind of drop that second finger down and the third finger down as you're sliding across the strings. See how I'm sliding on the strings? I'm not coming out just to come back. That might take you a little bit to get that one down. Then from our F triad, we got to get to C add 9, but it's another slide move where I'm sharing this third finger because C add 9 will have that D note in it. It's the 9th. So slide it back, and there you go. See, shared fingers. And then C add 9, the G, shares these two. So you're just going to move these two up one string each. And that's it. C add 9 to G. Now this is a 4-finger G. You have to turn your hand over to get to the C to end this. And you hear that nice resolution because this is in the key of C major. All these chords are made up of notes in that C major scale. So we flip our whole hand over to get to the C. And if you're having trouble with that change, just go back and forth between those two chords. A couple minutes a day. So here's all the changes, one hit each, and I'll let a little time go by in between them. E minor. Watch the technique, shared fingers, C major 7, cluster and slide it down to A minor 9, right? Slide that second finger to D minor, right? Shared second finger, F major 7, shared first finger to C, right? Pinky add, move up the 2 to G, pull them back for C, shared first and second to A minor. Then we're going to cluster and slide up to our F triad. We're going to share our third finger for C add 9. Share our pinky and third finger for going to G. And we're done. Awesome. Okay, now that you know the chords and you know the different techniques we're using those shared fingers, right, between those chords. We're using the cluster principle. We're keeping our fingers in those clusters tight together, close to the fretboard. And we're also sliding. We're using slides with the shared fingers. Okay? Very important. That pinky's hitching a ride on that third finger. So important that this is how you drill that muscle memory into your head, right? Okay, so now we'll string them together in a long progression. And the first, you do want to play with some kind of sense of time. Because you don't have the chords totally down yet, I would just say at first, just do a simple quarter note strum. Just down, 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 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change. 2, 2, 3, 4. Change. 3, 2, right? Those are simple quarter notes. And that will get you used to the changes. Now, if you stumble across any changes and you can't make it in time, circle them. Write all these changes out. And then just practice that. Let's say you're having trouble going from the C major 7 to the A minor 9. Just practice that one a couple times every day for a few minutes, just back and forth between those two changes, right? No matter what change it is. Let's say you're having trouble going from that G to the C. Just take those two at a time, back and forth, right? Until you can get all the notes to ring true. Because this exercise is not about speed. It's about getting your chords to sound true, ring true, sound their best, and work on your timing and your chord changing. So knock them off a couple at a time, right? So I'll tell you what, I'll go through the whole progression and I'll write it out as I play it, and we'll do quarter notes, and you could play along with me if you want. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. right? Got through the whole thing. And that's what you want to work toward. And just chip away at it. You know, write this down, use this in your practicing every day. And like I said, it might take a month, maybe 2 months, whatever. It's okay. Just do a little each day, chipping away, getting further and further and further along with it, right? And then when you get that down, then let's start doing it with a strum pattern and making it more musical sounding than just straight quarters or straight eighth notes. Take easy strum patterns at first. If you're just starting, we have to put some rhythm into it. We have to leave out some strums and repeat our pattern to make it musical sounding. So just, again, take all downstrokes, but let's play it a little bit more like this, like down, 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 down. So 1 down, then 2 downs, then 3 downs. Take it like down, 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 change. Down, 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 change. And go through the whole progression like that. Here's a few bars of that. And so on and so forth. And then when you get that down, mix up the strum pattern. Maybe do some of the earlier strum patterns that are pretty easy to grasp that we talked about before, like in other lessons, like down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, up, down, up. Here's a couple of bars of that so you can hear what it sounds like. Right? And in the beginning, to strum slow. Because remember, the faster you strum, the faster you're going to have to make those chord changes, right? And it becomes a quick mess. So at first, strum slowly and get the chord changes down. So remember everything we talked about in this lesson, how you're going to keep your fingers close to the fretboard in that tight cluster. You're going to use shared fingers. You're going to use slides with all your chord changes. It'll make it so much easier. Chip away at this lesson. You don't have to have an hour or 2 hours every day to sit down with the guitar and chunk out that big block of time. Pick up the guitar, and when you have 10 spare minutes while you're waiting for your dinner to cook, pick up the guitar if you have 10 minutes before you go to work in the morning. Those little blocks of time really add up, right? And see if you can get this down. Try it with different strum patterns, different rhythms. It'll really help your chord changing along. Click on that link below and make sure you get those lessons because we can get into this further. Also, subscribe to our YouTube videos and keep putting that guitar in your hands every day. Go to the website. There's over 1,500 video lessons, written lessons, jam tracks. It's a full online structured curriculum, and that's what you need at this point in your guitar journey. You need that structure. All right, there's lessons for beginners, intermediates, advanced. Check it out. There's even a 3-day free all-access pass right on the home page. So we don't ask for a credit card or anything. You just click on the start free trial. Give the site a good test drive. See how you like it. I'm David Taub, co-creator of Next Level Guitar. You're the good people. Thanks so much. Take care and keep rocking.